I apologize for the very long wait for this recap. My God. Holy fuck, I was watching WWE Evolution. I didn't expect it to go 3.5 hours. And, pay-per-view was very good. The PLE was very good. That ending, that ending threw me for a fucking loop. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that at all. But my thoughts on WWE out of the way. We got to go to something that's not so fun to talk about, and that's this Phillies team. So last time we spoke was after the series against the San Francisco Giants, where obviously the Phillies lost that series, and they probably tried to spark some people's hope with that final game, Bryce Harper's game. You know, they scored a bunch of runs and all that stuff, and then they followed that up going into San Diego, and the offense basically looking the exact same as it always has, basically over the entirety of the season, I guess you could say, and they just continue to fail with runners in scoring position. They fail to do anything with timely hits. They really just they just they can't get timely hits. How many bases loaded opportunities are we going to see with this team? And for them just to either score one measly run or score no runs at all. It feels like it's just way too common of an occurrence with this team, and it's the main gripe that we all have with this team, and why most of us think that while the Phillies are most likely a playoff team, they're not going to win a World Series with the way this team is constructed offensively and bullpen wise. Starting pitching, you're already fine there. You're fine with the starting pitching. Your starting pitching is very good. Ranger Suarez was good once again on Friday in San Diego. Zach Wheeler was a little bit shaky yesterday, but still, it was only 4 runs allowed at the end of the day. Uh, you got to score. Yes, it does suck that you actually gave Zach Wheeler an early lead and he just coughed it right up, but still, after so many fantastic Zach Wheeler starts and how fantastic he basically was from the entirety of the month of June through basically until now, he deserves every break possible. And you had so many chances to win that game basically, and you just once again stab yourselves in the foot. And today, yeah, you did win. You did quote unquote salvage the series. You only scored the first run of the ball game because of the San Diego Padres defense completely falling apart on itself. That was the only reason why you scored a run, even though you still had bases loaded once again and you just cannot get that hit. You score because of San Diego's defense. And it was only one run. And Christopher Sanchez, he battled in the first couple of innings, but he still went very strong in this game. I still very much question why Rob Thompson took him out when he was only at 83 pitches in that bottom of the 8th inning. He could have gone the entire inning. Then you bring out Kerkering. He allows the 2 right-handers that he was coming in to face to get on, which was Machado and Bogarts. He allows both of those guys to get on. He does find a way to get out of the inning unscathed, but that was kind of very frustrating in that moment. And then you have the Matt Strom experience in the bottom of the 9th inning, where he allows base runners, but he still managed to get the save, even though it was very ugly. So it's just the Phillies experience. I mean, at this point, the Wednesday game in San Francisco was a complete mirage. That's not truly what this team is. Yeah, they have that in their back pocket whenever they feel like deciding to bring that out, the offensive outburst and scoring a bunch of runs. But no, this is mainly who they are, is a team that struggles to hit with runners in scoring position and has to rely on their elite starting pitching to be absolutely perfect. And when sometimes you're going to get a game when your elite starting pitching is not perfect. You're going to get a game every once in a while, like Zach Wheeler had yesterday. There's going to be a time when Christopher Sanchez is not at his best. There's going to be a time when Ranger Suarez is not at his best. And when those guys are not at their best, on the rare occasion that it probably will be, you're not going to win that ball game because your offense just simply cannot out-hit the opponent. You're going to get your chances. They're not going to cash in on all those chances because that's just what this team is. They don't know what timely hitting is. It's way too common of an occurrence, and it's basically just rinse and repeating yourself every single recap. It's the same exact topics, and I always keep saying that regardless of all the rumors that are out there about the trade deadline, you still cannot solve all of your issues at a trade deadline because of where Dave Dombrowski put you at in the offseason. where he barely just did nothing to help this team, where he did the bare bones minimum. Besides trading for Jesus Luzardo, he did the bare bones minimum of quote unquote, what do you want to call improving the roster, which was basically not an improvement at all. Max Kepler's not an improvement. Jordan Romano's not an improvement. You had many things to check off on that to-do list for the offseason, and Dave Dombrowski basically did none of that. Bargain bin shopping now, like I keep saying, there's always some of that has to go on John Middleton as well, because I do think John Middleton, he is an owner that spends. I've never said that he is an owner that doesn't spend. He does spend his money. He has limits to spending his money, and I think this offseason there definitely was a limit to him spending his money. He didn't want to go all out on certain pieces. Maybe that's why you're not seeing extensions for guys like Kyle Schwarber and all that stuff. Maybe you're not seeing extensions for some people like a Ranger Suarez or anything like that. So there's definitely some things to just think about in that perspective. There just is. The MLB draft is tonight and tomorrow, and the Phillies did select an intriguing name in the first round. A lot of people, from what I mainly read on the social media verse, are very high on this pick, so we could definitely get into that for a little bit as well. But yeah, we just look at just the games that were this weekend. Friday, you lose 4-2. Ranger Suarez, he went 6 2/3 innings, allowed 3 runs. Only one of those was earned, and that was due to an error, a rare error by Ranger Suarez. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts on 96 pitches. Tanner Banks came into the game, or got the final out of the 7th inning, and then Lazar pitched in the bottom of the 8th inning and allowed a home run to ensure that Padres 4-2 lead. And this is also a chance where the Phillies had a bunch of opportunities to score runs in this game. You went 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Some of those chances came late. You had, I believe, you did have bases loaded in the top of the 8th inning, and it was Max Kepler up with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Yeah, that definitely was not going to be cashing in anything right there. Trey Turner, he was 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Trey Turner definitely is struggling at the plate lately. His average is starting to dip below 290. Yeah, his average is now at 289. Kyle Schwarber, he had another home run on Friday. He went 1 for 3. Bryce Harper 1 for 4. Alec Bohm 1 for 4. He got injured in yesterday's ball game with a rib contusion, if I'm not mistaken. Nick Castellanos, he had a solo shot in that game as well. 1 for 4. Max Kepler 0 for 3 with a walk. JT Realmuto 1 for 4. Bryson Stott 0 for 4. And Brandon Marsh 0 for 4. So just in the chances that you had in this game, Castellanos at the home run in the top of the 2nd inning. Then the craziness that happened for the Padres was the bottom of the 2nd inning, where they scored 3 runs thanks to mainly a Ranger Suarez error, and which was a very rare error from him. Kyle Schwarber had the solo shot in the top of the 3rd, and then you basically go for the rest of the ball game. Top of the 5th, the Phillies had chances. JT would lead off single. Bryson Stott, fielder's choice. Turner then walked with 2 outs, so you had 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. They bring in the bullpen to face Schwarber. He walks, and then he had bases loaded for Bryce Harper. He grounded out on the first pitch. You went 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 6th, 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 7th. Then in the top of the 8th, Turner walked, Bryce Harper singled, Alec Bohm singled. So you had bases loaded here, and 1 out for Nick Castellanos. Chopper to the pitcher. Trey Turner gets thrown out at home plate. And actually, during the Alec Bohm single, there definitely was a little bit of a question mark. Why wasn't Dusty Wathan sending Trey Turner on that hit by Alec Bohm? Because you probably send Trey Turner, you probably tied the ball game up. So maybe it was a bad read by Dusty Wathan. No fucking clue. But Nick Castellanos chops it back to the pitcher. Turner gets thrown out at home. And then Kepler up with 2 outs and bases loaded. Nothing happens there. He popped up. And then the first batter that Lazar faced, Manny Machado, was a solo shot, and that's basically where the ball game ended there. Then you go to Saturday's ball game. You lose 5-4. Zach Wheeler definitely was shaky. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Jackson Merrill hit 2 home runs off of him, 105 pitches, 61 strikes. His ERA raised to 2.36. Lineup-wise, Trey Turner 1 for 5, Kyle Schwarber 0 for 4 with a walk, Bryce Harper 1 for 3 with 2 walks, Alec Bohm went 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch, then he eventually left the ball game with the rib contusion. Edmundo Sosa actually got a hit with bases loaded, which was very shocking. 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs for him. Castellanos 1 for 4, Stott 0 for 4, JT Realmuto 3 for 4 with an RBI, Max Kepler 0 for 2 with a walk. Kemp eventually came into the ball game. He went 1 for 1, and then Brandon Marsh, he went 1 for 4. Phillies went 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position. That's how many chances they had in that game. Tanner Banks came into the ball game after Zach Wheeler. He allowed a run to score. Romano came in to finish the business for Banks in the 7th, and then Matt Strom pitched the 8th inning. And then going through the collective of yesterday's game, you go down 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first, technically, because of a Bryce Harper inning double play. Then top of the second, you score 2 runs. Alec Boehm gets hit by a pitch. He moves to second on a wild pitch. Castellanos, he reaches in on an infield single. It was a throwing error by Yu Darvish, which allowed Boehm to score. Then JT Realmuto hit a double, which scored Castellanos, made it a 2-0 lead. But then bottom of the second inning, Sheets with a leadoff double. Then Jackson Merrill hits a 2-run shot to tie the ball game up. Cronenworth then doubled, and then Maldonado, out of all people, hits an RBI single to give the Padres a 3-2 lead. Top third, Bryce Harper with a 2-out double. Nothing happens there. Top 4, you go down 1, 2, 3. Top 5, you actually take the lead here. Kepler with a walk, Marsh with a single. Then Turner and Schwarber flew out and struck out respectively. Bryce Harper worked the walk, and then Edmundo Sosa in his first at bat, replacing Alec Boehm. He got the single, which gave the Phillies the lead with bases loaded. Made it a 4-3 game. Castellanos then came in when the Padres went to the bullpen, and he flew out. Top 6, you went down 1, 2, 3 because of a double play. Bottom 6, Merrill ties the ball game up with a solo shot. Top 7th inning, Trey Turner with a double, Bryce Harper with a 2-out walk, and then nothing happened. Nothing happened after that. Bottom 7, Manny Machado, he hits a sacrifice fly off of Jordan Romano after Tanner Banks allowed Tatis and Arias to get on. Became a 5-4 Padres lead. You had a chance to tie the ball game up in the top of the 8th. JT with a 2-out single, Kemp with a 2-out single. You had first and third for Brandon Marsh, and then he popped up. Then top 9, you went down 1, 2, 3 with the top of your lineup. Joy. Then you go into today's ball game. You win by a score of 2-1. And wasn't the most inspiring ball game in the world. Christopher Sanchez was very good once again. 7 in the third innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 86 pitches, 58 strikes. Very good. Orion Kerkering, he got into trouble but figured it out. Matt Strom walked 2 guys, got the save. Lineup-wise, Trey Turner over Kyle Schwarber was actually in the leadoff spot today. I think Rob Thompson's explanation was they wanted to supplement the lefties and the righties just because there were so many righties in the lineup today. Kyle Schwarber went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Trey Turner 0 for 3 with a walk. Bryce Harper 1 for 3 with a walk. 2 runs scored. Nick Castellanos 0 for 4. JT Realmuto 2 for 4 with an RBI. Good for him. Bryson Stott 1 for 4. Otto Kemp 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Marsh 1 for 4. And Edmundo Sosa 1 for 4. Phillies went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and JT Realmuto went 2 for 2. So it's weird, though. JT Realmuto has actually been very good at the plate since the beginning of June. So that's very shocking, but good for him. Good for him. But basically everything else, if you just go through the game, you scored a run because of the Padres defense. They had 2 errors in that top of the first inning. It should have been 3, in my personal opinion. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, they start the game off with strikeouts. Harper walks. Castellanos reaches in on a throwing error by Manny Machado, which couldn't be scooped by Arias at first. JT Realmuto, he reaches in on an infield single, and then a bunch of errors happen. Harper scores, and then just throwing errors in general. So 1 run scores because of that. And then Kemp ends the inning striking out with the bases loaded. Christopher Sanchez, he gets into his own bases loaded jam in the bottom of the first, but he manages to get out of that unscathed. Top 2nd, you go down 1, 2, 3. Top 3, you go down 1, 2, 3. Top 4, after a Stott single, nothing happens there. Top 5, you had a 2-out walk by Turner, nothing happens there. Top 6, you go down 1, 2, 3. Padres tie the game up in the bottom of the 6th. Machado with a leadoff single, Bogarts with a single, Merrill bunts them over, Iglesias with a single that scored 1, and then Campusano grounded into a double play to end the inning. Both teams were having very quick innings in this game, if you could not tell. Very quick innings. It was a getaway day. It's the day before the All-Star break. These teams wanted this game over and done with. From the looks of it. Padres probably especially. Like, we won the fucking series already. We're just gonna fucking go swing. If we get out, we get out. That's what it felt like for the entire night. Top 7, Marsh 1-out single. Nothing happens there. Bottom 7, Sanchez gets out of that. Top 8, Harper with a 1-out double. They go to the bullpen. Castellanos strikes out. It's 2 out for JT Realmuto. Doubles into the gap, scores Harper, gives the Phillies the lead. Sanchez starts the 8th, gets Arias to line out to Harper. Rob decides to take him out. Then Machado with a single. Bogarts then walks. Then Merrill flies out and Iglesias flies out. Top 9, Phillies had a Sosa had a 2-out infield single. Nothing happened after that. And then you go to the Matt Strom situation. Cronenworth with a leadoff walk on 4 pitches. Sacrifice bunt by Johnson, which moves Cronenworth over the second. Diaz then fouls out. Tatis. Strom couldn't find the strike zone. They then decided to intentionally walk him. And then Arias lined out to left field to end the ball game off. So yeah, you do to win one. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Put you at 55-41 on the season, and you go into the All-Star break exactly tied for first place in the National League East. So, yeah. Or actually, you're a half game up on the New York Mets because they lost today. I think they got walked off by the Kansas City Royals. So, you have first place by a half game. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Doesn't do me anything. Doesn't do me anything whatsoever. That's just what it is. And now you have the All-Star break. So we got a lot of days off here. Obviously, Zach Wheeler decided not to pitch in the All-Star game, which is probably very smart there. Decided to rest up, and he has his head in the right spot. He'd rather rest up and heal for the Phillies in the second half run, which does make a lot of sense, and I respect the hell out of that. Kyle Schwarber will be your lone All-Star for the Phillies. He's not starting the All-Star game, so he'll make an appearance at some point. Most likely as a DH, I would assume. But, yeah. Really don't care about this All-Star game. Not really much. Not just because there's no Phillies in it. I just really don't care. The All-Star game for baseball has really downgraded over the years. It's really since that they gotten rid of the ties that, you know, whoever wins the All-Star game gets the home field advantage in the World Series. They really took away that, you know, meaning to the All-Star game, and that's why you really don't see players that are selected to the All-Star game go to the All-Star game because now this game has no meaning. I'm sure it was an honor at once to go to the All-Star game because you were pitching technically for your respected league to possibly host or get home field advantage for a possible World Series. So there definitely was some factors into those guys playing in the All-Star game. Now there really isn't. A lot of people are just like, nah. A lot of pitchers are like, nah, don't really feel like it. I'm banged up a little bit, not going to play. I just don't feel like I'd rather rest. Nah. That's what the All-Star game has become. Really what it is. So, and then after the All-Star break, I believe you're home to start the second half, if I'm not mistaken. And your first opponent in the second half is going to be the Los Angeles Angels. You're facing the American League to start off for a very little bit here to start off the second half. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight series to start the second half against the American League. The Angels are the first team that you'll face at Citizens Bank Park. The Boston Red Sox will also come here. Then you go to the Yankees, Bronx, Yankee Stadium. Then you go to the White Sox. Then you play the Detroit Tigers at home, Baltimore Orioles at home, and then you go to Texas. So that'll be interesting. And your pitching lineup is already set for when you come back from the All-Star break. Jesus Luzardo will be the first pitcher coming out of the All-Star break, then Taijuan Walker, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez. That's the way the pitching rotation will be lined up going out of the All-Star break. Really not much more to say. Obviously, with the draft that happened, the Phillies' 26th overall pick, they selected Gage Wood from Arkansas, it looks like. And obviously, a lot of people are very high on this person, from what it looks like. Let's see. I just want to see what actually, this guy, he threw a no-hitter in the College World Series this year. So there's some intrigue there. A lot of people keep saying that he might be even fucking ready for October this year, which I fucking highly doubt. But that'd be nice if that was the case. So let's see. Yeah. Gage Wood, a right-handed pitcher from Arkansas, threw the first no-hitter in College World Series since 1960. Had a 3.82 ERA in 10 appearances in 2025. Had a .903 WHIP in 2025. Had 167 strikeouts in 108 college innings. And then they selected, it looks like, more pitchers with their next two picks. 63rd overall pick, they selected Cabe Obermiller, left-handed pitcher from Iowa. He was selected in the 19th round of 2024 by the Texas Rangers, so much and he probably went reelected for the draft. Had a 3.02 ERA in 15 appearances in 2025, 226 strikeouts in 165 college innings. Iowa won 6 straight starts over a month span when he gave up just 4 earned runs. Then with the 100th overall pick, they selected John Bowker, a right-handed pitcher from Vanderbilt. He transferred from Georgetown to Vanderbilt in 2025. 4.38 ERA in 16 appearances in 2025, 205 strikeouts and 162 career college innings. College career high, 72 innings pitched, 99 strikeouts in last season. Interesting. Their draft philosophy, in my personal opinion, makes me wonder to believe that they're probably trading some pitching from the minor leagues. That just gives me that little bit of an inkling there. Not saying it's going to happen, but that's just what their draft philosophy feels like. Okay, we're going to trade some pitchers. We'll draft some pitchers. We'll see. Yeah, I do see like the scouting report here on him on Wood that he has an electric fastball and that's his best pitch. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes. Just trying to see if there's anything more here. No, I don't see anything else in terms of scouting reports. So, what was it, like the first 3 rounds of the draft were tonight, and then tomorrow's going to be the rest of the draft? I'm assuming that's the way it goes. Alex Carr, known Phillies guy, talking about Greg Wood. Let's see. Greg Wood has one of the best fastballs in this draft, a ton of ride, and gets the boatload of whips. He is in need of a third pitch, but could be the perfect fit for a patented Phillies cutter. Not sure if that plan goes this route, but he could move pretty quickly. He did not think he would make it to them. Wood had a ton of helium headed into the draft. I thought the Phillies were a great candidate for an arm that could move quickly, but I didn't think that arm would come in the first round. Love this pick. I should clarify because some people seem to be confused. Wood is in need of a good third pitch. He obviously, as a starting pitcher, has more than 3 pitches in his arsenal. Let's see. Oh, Gage Wood. Let's see. What did I say? What did I say? I kind of even blanked out when I said his name. I was just reading. What did I say? Did I say something else besides Wood? Look, it's a long night. And it's going to be a longer night after this because I'm going to have to fucking edit for Brodes. Freaking Evolution threw everything in through a loop, man. Evolution threw everything in through. It was also kind of nice to see Holiday's son get drafted by Colorado. That was nice. A little bit of a nice thing there. But really, he's had shoulder injury. Oh, Greg. Oh, I said Greg. Gage Wood, how is it not a porn star? He's had shoulder injury concerns. That's why he fell in the draft. Interesting. I know I do see a ton of people thinking he could pitch for the Phillies this year in October. I highly doubt that. I've been seeing the rumors throughout the day that, like, the Diamondbacks also they're officially putting guys like Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, I believe also. The fuck? Why do I always forget their starting pitcher that is from the area? Why do I always forget his fucking name? I don't know why. I always do. I just don't understand why I forget his name. I'll find it. Zach Gallen. I don't know why I always forget his name. It's just weird that I always forget it. They're putting those 3 guys on the trade block. It's also been talked about the Braves are even willing to move some people like Ozuna and all that stuff. I think of Iglesias as well. So I guess teams are putting it out there that they're willing to, move names. I'll see it when I believe it. And I'll see it when I believe it that Dave Dombrowski's actually going to be aggressive at this trade deadline. Yeah, their draft motto, they're drafting a lot of pitchers in the first 3 rounds. It's 3 pitchers. So maybe they're actually thinking, okay, we'll supplement our pitching depth now so we can afford to trade some pitching depth. who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just tired of saying the same shit about this team. You know, it's amazing. What else? What else? What else? What else? No, we do have a couple of voicemails though on the Anytime Hotline, so we might as well get to that. And I kind of do have to end this stream very soon, so I'm not up late working, even though I'm going to be up late regardless. But let's get to these calls. We got Zach and we got Sean. Let's get to them.
So the Phillies win today, and in spite of themselves, they end to the All-Star break in first place in National League East. But I'll say this, coming out of the break, I don't think there's a team in baseball with more pressure on them organizationally than the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, most of this roster has been there for the last 3 to 4 years, and there's no executive with more pressure on him than Dave Dombrowski. You cannot afford Max Kepler and Jordan Romano type moves at the deadline. I mean, we all know the weaknesses of this team. I don't know if they're going to be able to shore them all up, but you have to add something of relevance. You have to add some kind of one at the deadline. What that is, I don't know. I don't think personally they can get enough to get it done, but you know, it remains to be seen. But these players need to look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, we got to step it up. It starts for real on Friday. You know, we coasted and got to the All-Star break in first place. Are we going to finish the race in first? I don't know. But we'll see what happens. It should definitely be an interesting trading deadline for sure.
I hope it's interesting. I hope it's just not a typical Dave Dombrowski just trading for the margins. And interesting here about the trade deadline this year. Obviously, it's on July 31st. The Phillies do not play on July 31st, so they do have a day off on trade deadline day. So we'll see where that takes them. Like I said, they play the Angels from the 18th to the 20th. The 21st to the 23rd is the Boston Red Sox. They play on the 25th through the 27th against the Yankees. Then the 28th through the 30th again in Chicago against the White Sox. Then the day after that is obviously the trade deadline. So we'll see where that takes them. We'll see. Yeah, obviously, like you guys can already tell, I'm tired of talking about this team consistently. And granted, even when I take days off, when we take some breaks from talking about this team, it still comes back to talking about the same things about this team because they do the same exact shit every fucking game. It's very annoying. Very annoying. We'll probably have a stream. What day is the deadline? That is a Thursday. Probably do a live stream during the deadline. Probably. I've done that before. I think I did that in 2022. We could probably do a trade deadline stream if we wanted to. We'll see. We'll see where we go. But let's get to Zach's call.
While frustration continues for this baseball team, they are able to squeak out a W today and salvage. But, I mean, you're really just lucky that Christopher Sanchez threw the ball the way he did, and your bullpen was able to lock it down. But this offense has been just an awful watch. I mean, that San Francisco series was miserable. This was terrible. This is hard to watch, man. It's hard to keep wanting to watch the game. But there's so many guys this lineup. They're just sticks. Like Stott, Marsh, Kepler. I mean, these guys, bro, there's more to go on. But those three lefties are killing you, man. And I don't think you need just one bat. You need two bats. You need Stephen Kwan and you need Zeno Suarez, you know, because this lineup, it has no depth. Nick Castellanos, he's not swinging at a lot of first pitches. Well, that doesn't matter. The guy's swinging at horse shit up there, man. So, I don't even know, man, but they did win. And really bigger, they drafted Gage Wood, I believe, Arkansas, who threw a no-hitter. So, hey, we'll see if they have any thoughts of throwing this kid in the bullpen. I doubt it, but it wouldn't hurt. So, yeah, we got the break, a much-needed break. Oh, and for positive, JT Realmuto's been swinging a good bat lately, so I love to see that. And we will be getting Aaron Nola back soon, so
Hopefully.
really need him. But, yep, they got to upgrade. You got to get a couple hitters. They got to get a couple bullpen arms for us to really buy in and think this team can win a World Series. But, hey, I'm going to be here beating the drum every day until the deadline, so can't wait. Go Phils. Peace.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they do make this deadline interesting. To at least when I can have a semblance of, okay, I can buy into this. I can buy into this. Right now, I just can't. I could buy into the starting pitching. That's the only thing I could buy into. I can't buy into anything else with this team. I just can't. You need like fucking at least 2-3 viable bullpen arms, and you need at least 2 bats, and you're not gonna get all that deadline unless Dave Dombrowski is just that desperate. Which, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Naomi cashing in on EO Sky. I was definitely not expecting that tonight. I'm seeing that pop up all over fucking Twitter now. I was not expecting that. It was a good finish. It was overall it's a good PLE. Good PLE for WWE tonight, Evolution. But that was the positive tonight. Phillies, no. No. Phillies, no. Phillies, no. Man. I did see some of you guys were in the chat when I did have this scheduled. I know I had it scheduled for 10, but it's just like it couldn't, like the Rhea EO Sky fight was just like, oh my god, this is going on. It wasn't dragging. It definitely wasn't that. It was just like, my god, I didn't think it was gonna be that long. But it was still a very good night. I was not expecting Naomi to cash in. No, I was not expecting that. I thought she was fully going after Tiffy. I thought she was. You're more of a deathmatch wrestling guy, so what does that mean? More your AEW? I watched All In yesterday. I didn't finish it. A pay-per-view, regardless of the company, should not be 6.5 hours. A pay-per-view that long should not exist. It should not exist. It is too long. The matches went way too long. Too long. And there was so much no-selling to it. Like the tag match between the Young Bucks, Swerve, and what was it, Hangman and Adam Page, or what was it, someone else? I forget who it was. But it was just, there was so much no-selling during like one sequence just to eventually do a bunch of moves that, like, oh my, you shouldn't no-sell these type of moves. It's just like, Jesus. Game changer oh, that's what you watch. Interesting. Never heard of it. They do it in Atlantic City a lot. Interesting. But yeah, I know I didn't watch the main event of AEW last night, All In. I know that got very bloody, as it tends to do with John Moxley. But I don't know. Those matches were just going on too long. Too long. No pay-per-view should be that long. None. But that's my rant for then. About wrestling. And this was my rant about the Phillies tonight. So, that's where we'll end it tonight, because I gotta go do work. So, I appreciate all of you guys here for tuning in as always. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And you can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. In terms of this week, breaking news wise, not sure what I plan to do. So we'll just play it by ear. If there's some interesting news that comes out, we'll talk about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything for the All-Star game. I probably don't plan to. It's just because there's really nothing much else to talk about unless you just keep talking about the Phillies and all that. So we'll think of some ideas, but you'll see something pop up in your subscription feed, so just stay tuned. But as for now, thanks guys for tuning in tonight. I'll see you.